Hello there, my gorgeous human beings. Karibuni sana to my YouTube channel for yet another new episode of What Goes Unsaid podcast with your girl, Lynn Wangoi. If you're new here, this is a safe space for me and you to have bold conversations, all things positive vibes with an extra fun on it. So if that is your thing, make sure to hit that subscription button, like, comment, and share with your friends. And when that is all said and done, okay, you all can tell I'm so excited for this episode, right? You all can tell because first of all, I was contemplating on whether I should do this video or not, but then again I decided why not? 100% why not? So I'm super excited for this episode, which is it only has to make sense to you. You all are gonna understand why I'm so excited about this episode. 100% you all are gonna know, and I want to know your thoughts on the comment below. I want to know your whole thoughts. Please make sure to leave some on those comments because this episode is a reminder not just for you guys but also for me, because when I talk about the whole understanding of it only has to make sense to you, I am honestly talking about everything that you are thinking about right this particular moment. 100%. It's all on that package list. It's all on that package list. Whatever you are thinking of, whatever your thoughts are going anywhere right now, it's all on that package list. Whether it's a goal you want to complete, whether it's a challenge that you are starting or you are pushing yourself to doing, whether it's your dreams, your purpose, your creativity, your life, your everything, they are on that package list. Just put them all there, because when you get the understanding of why it only has to make sense to you, then you kind of free yourself from a lot of mental slavery, physical slavery, thought slavery. You kind of break all those chains into why you should just start up something and begin something without the idea of what are people gonna say, because we are particularly living in a world where right now, if you don't tell and show and give it all to the world to see, then you are not living your life as you are supposed to. We have made it so easy for life and for things and for existence to be like, if you are not living for people, if you are not showing and kind of existing for people, then you are not doing what you're supposed to do. And I think that is something that we shouldn't kind of embrace. We should definitely not embrace that. You see, this is what I mean. We have made it so easy that if you are starting up a business, a goal, a journey, whether it's self journey or even anything else that you are starting, if you don't kind of put it out there for people to see, if you don't kind of start with the thought of, are people gonna like this? Are people gonna accept this? Are people gonna accept me for who I am, for what I wanna be, for what I'm doing? Are people gonna accept what I wanna bring to the world? And I think we have made it so easy for people to kind of second guess themselves with that kind of mindset, because it's a show and tell world. If you're not showing and telling, then it doesn't make sense. And who said it doesn't make sense? Because you are not showing out the world. If you're not making the world see that part of yourself, that part of life, that part of your existence, and it's more of you are wanting so badly to do something, to start something, but then again you kind of self-cage yourself into the mindset of maybe people aren't going to like this and that, maybe they aren't going to allow this and that because they won't like it. They won't see me as brave, as confident, as beautiful, as this and that, and so on. And you kind of go back to the prison where you have caged yourself and your potentials, and you kind of go back there. And that's it. You don't come out of that cage for I don't know for how long. And time goes. Time doesn't wait for a king or a queen. It literally goes on and on and on. And the understanding of why are you doing what you're doing? Who are you doing it for? And you know what? Something else that I came to learn recently, okay, not a long time ago, and it has always been stuck with me for the longest time, is the fact that you have to keep grinding. You have to keep pushing. You have to make the decision of understanding yourself into the better versions of yourself. And you got to question yourself as, why are you doing what you're doing? Who are you doing it for? And I think these are small, tiny details that we leave behind without the understanding of how they can help us and how they can play a huge part into creating a bigger versions of ourselves. And so we choose the easy way, which is, you know what, let's just not do that. Let's just not try this and that, because maybe I'm not good enough for that. I'm not called up for that. I'm not this and that. And the moment you get the understanding of who is living anyone's life, absolutely nobody. Maybe you who is trying so hard to people please people, to kind of make yourself seen all the time by people because you're so kind of scared of choosing your own path because you're living for people. And that is one of the most toxic thing you could ever do to yourself, because that shows how much of disrespect you have towards yourself. Because if you choose to live for people, if you choose to exist only for people, if you choose to only become a side of yourself for people, then you are disrespecting yourself. I'm sorry to say so. You are literally 100% disrespecting yourself in the most huge way possible. And also, you got to get the understanding of who you are, who you want to be, where you have come from, and where you want to go, right? You have to understand those four things actually, therefore. You've got to understand those four things: where you have come from, who you are, where you want to go, and who you want to be for yourself. And when you get the understanding of that, then it becomes easier for you to break those chains that you have caged for yourself for so long. Because then what is the point of life if you aren't kind of being okay with existing with your own paths, your own goals, your own creations, your own passions, and so on? It's like you had your favorite meal, right? You loved a certain meal. And the question is, why do you love a certain meal, right? Why do you enjoy it? First of all, it's because maybe it tastes good. It's a homemade meal, you enjoy it. You kind of feel safe and kind of feel home. If you're far away from home and you have that kind of a dish, and it reminds you so much of home and so much of childhood memories and all that. And that is the point. It's like existing for yourself by that certain meal. You kind of love that certain thing that you are doing because it feels so good to you. You feel fulfilled when you are creating, when you are going for a yoga class, when you are having an adventure, traveling, all that. You are doing it because it feels so good to you. It feels so good to you because you love doing that. And that is the point of everything. If it only makes sense to you, then that's okay. That's 100% okay, because that's the point. It only has to make sense to you, nobody else. And I think it's the more understanding of, if it makes sense to me, then the world will adjust. 100% it will adjust, because if it makes sense to me, then that means I am on the right path into making decisions, into making new possibilities, and having these potentials into going more and more, and kind of not limiting myself because you're scared, or you are not 100% in a safe space to kind of adventure and become certain things and kind of be so many things, because you are your only limit. And if you're limiting yourself, don't expect anyone to come and soothe you and tell you, what, you can do this and that, you can be this and that, because you are going to be waiting for a long time. Because if you haven't decided it for yourself, you haven't decided it as to why you want to do it so badly, even when it doesn't make sense to anybody. And you know what is funny? Let me tell you what is funny about the whole journey of making it all about your own understanding and your own creation, in terms of it has to make sense to you first. Not everyone is gonna accept that version of yourself. Not everyone is gonna appreciate that version of yourself. Not everyone is gonna like it, and not even everyone is gonna be okay with that kind of a certain version of yourself. At first, it's gonna be a laughing matter. At first, it's gonna be, oh, he is crazy. Oh, what is wrong with her? It's gonna be a lot of question marks. who is she? We don't know this version of this person. Where did he or she come from? It's going to be a lot of discrimination. It's going to be a lot of hate. There's going to be a lot of everything else that is not even positive, that is not even going to help you into pursuing your goals, into pursuing your life, your dreams, and everything else. It's going to be hard. The journey starts out to be hard, lonely, and discouraging, and kind of uncomfortable. But when you start it, when you 100% start that journey, then it becomes easier for you. All this negativity that you are getting around the environment, or the spaces that you are, or the spaces that you had been, they kind of become a certain shield for yourself, that you continue to understand yourself better, because no one needs to understand you. No one needs to get your points. No one needs to get the whole story as to why you do what you're doing, as to why you're starting a certain thing. No one needs to do that. It's not the obligation to do that, but it's your own obligation to understand that if it's making sense to you, if it's 100% making sense to you as a person, then you are at the right path. You are at the right path, and you have to go with that pace of, it's making sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to the world. It doesn't. And you know what else? You have to accept the world first before the world accept you, because they don't need to. Because they 100% don't need to understand you. They don't need to get you. They don't need to make you feel like you are home and you're safe and you're this and that when you're starting a certain job, a certain journey, a certain dream, a certain anything else, you name it. Not everyone is gonna appreciate your starting point. Not everyone is going to appreciate your beginning point onto your journey. Not everyone is gonna give you a hand to hold as you start this journey. Not everyone is gonna do that, because they don't get it. It doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't completely make sense to them. That doesn't mean that you have to stop doing it. That doesn't mean that you have to quit and kind of get done with it and say, you know what, I'm done. And you know what? The funny thing with humans, we choose quitting and giving up because it's the easiest path we think of. At the first time we think, oh, quitting, it's easy. Let's just not do that. But have you ever had the guilt of quitting something that you wanted so badly and you just stopped? You didn't go on with it, and the guilt that eats you up, man, it messes up with your mind. So yeah, we kind of think quitting and stopping is the easiest way, but it's never the easy way. It's just going through. That's the only way you can just see the end of a certain thing. You starting and going on with it, and just believing that you're doing the right decisions. And at the end of the day, if it feels right with you, if it feels 100% okay with you, then it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else but yourself. It only has to make sense to you. It only has to 100% make sense to you first. The world can adjust. So just you keep going, you keep doing what you're doing, you keep pushing through, and just do you, and just stop with the self-caging thoughts that you are not good enough, you're not confident enough, you're not blessed enough, you're not beautiful enough, and etc. And just go on, start the journey, see how far it can go. Have you ever been excited on starting out a journey? That's how I always feel all the time when I'm starting out a new something. I want to see how this journey goes. I want to see the end of it. I want to see the middle of it. But when you stop at the starting point, then what's the point of it all? Because you're so scared of why or how or what, or is it going to make sense to them? Is that what you're thinking? No, I don't think that I should do that. I don't think that should be the first thing in your mind. The first thing in your mind should be, does it make sense to me? If it's a yes, then go on. Your life has to make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else but you and you alone. And that's it. You do what you do, the world will adjust. And may I remind you, when the hate and the discrimination and the negativity is too big and too much, that means you are on the right path. And I'm gonna tell you why. You know why? That is because the world doesn't shut down incapable people. No, the world shuts down people who have the potential, the capabilities, the strength to just continue going and going. And when you're getting to have all these hate, all this discrimination, it simply means you are on the right path, you're on the right pace. So continue with that one, continue with that journey. Don't stop for nobody and don't quit for nothing. And at the end of the day, if it's making sense to you, that's it. That's all we have to go on with. So just make sure it's making sense to you. The world will adjust at the end of the day. It only has to make sense to you. So yes, guys, that is the end of our episode for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping me company. I appreciate your time, your seconds, your everything else. I'm grateful. Just come continue liking, subscribing. If you haven't, please do. Share with your friends. And I love hearing your thoughts. I love knowing what you're thinking, guys, on the comments below. Let me catch you next on the next episode of our Girls Unsaid podcast.